Hi everybody, Melissa here, CloudMom.com. Talking today about how to get your kids to be good eaters. I remember when I first had my kids and we were struggling with introducing new foods and getting them to try them, that my doctor just said, introduce, introduce, introduce. And of all the sort of tips or pieces of advice that I've heard when it comes to kids and food, I think that is the one that has worked best for us. That, and I have to admit, a bit of bribing. Here's what generally happens in my house. We try to have a balanced meal. Not every meal is perfect, but I try to have some sort of meat, chicken, turkey, burger, maybe hamburger, usually without the roll. We have quinoa, brown rice. We can sometimes make a few days worth at a time. And then we have usually cooked vegetables, green beans, carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, that kind of thing. Dessert is usually fruit and milk. And then, of course, we have tons of special treats on the side. So I think in general, and it's kind of like a daycare. It's not like Restaurant Melissa, like you can just run off and say you don't want it and come back half an hour later and get a bowl of cereal. I really try to make them finish because I know that they're right back there when they don't. And if they're really fussing and they're like, I don't want it, I'll be like, okay, 2 carrots or something symbolic. And then they usually always have their fruit and their milk. So in some ways, I think this has worked really well because in general, they have a very balanced diet. But here's the problem with this. I notice, especially with 2 of my boys, that as soon as something looks different, if we go to a restaurant or a friend's house and there's some twist, like there's a rice dish with different veggies or, you know, tabbouleh or something that looks a little funky and different, they won't even try it because it's not exactly what they're used to. So that I think is a problem. And here's what I think is the other problem. Oftentimes, if you're out to dinner or you're at a friend's house, the main vegetable is salad, and my kids have never gotten used to eating salad. And when I think about it, it's like, well, I haven't really given it to them. So my resolutions for this school year are to try to do little twists and turns and shake things up a little bit and not always have the same dishes, which I'm not so good about, and to try to give them salad, just a tiny little bowl with like 2 leaves of lettuce, a few little carrots, and a tomato to get them used to the idea of eating salad, because I think so often that's the vegetable that's offered. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my house when it comes to trying to get my kids to be good eaters. Love to hear from you other moms to see what's worked for you in your homes. Thank you so much for watching Cloud Mom, and see you next time.